Hi students. Okay, so I'm making this video to explain the rubric with the criteria that you need to know in order to make the following presentation. So the first thing is basically I'm going to go through the points and clarify what it is that I expect you to do. As I mentioned in Edmol, this presentation will start the first week of October. That means you have 2 weeks to prepare, and it's expected that you present something that you like and something that you know, so it shouldn't be that hard. All right, so the first thing is the your presentation should have like the first thing you should show is if it's a movie, the poster of the movie, or the publicity image of the movie, and if it's a book, the book cover. So the front and the back cover, so people know what it looks like. Now, if you have the book, well, that would be wonderful. But in terms of the movie, unless you actually have a DVD, you would show the image. The second thing is introduction. So you need to name the book or the film. You need to name the author or the director. You have to say what type of book or what type of film it is, meaning the genre, number of pages or length of the film, and publisher or film company. If you miss any of these, they take points off. In terms of the story description, you should describe the setting, say where and when it took place, if the setting is important for the story and why it's important. Now, there are some books or some movies that don't necessarily have a very clear setting in terms of the year or exactly where it is, but you can state exactly that. You can say, so this book, the setting of this book is not very clear, but it's futuristic, or it's about the past, or the place, even though it's not a specific city, describes this and that. Okay, so you need to basically support your description of the setting with the details that it provides, or use additional explanations saying that it's not so clear, but what you understand of the setting. Okay, you need to talk about the main characters, describe them briefly. You have from 3 to 4 minutes, so do not, go in depth and choose the most important ones, of course. Mention their personality, their behavior, relationships among them, if there's a change in them, resulting from their experience, and explain the plot of the story, but do not tell the end. Okay, if nobody has seen the movie or nobody has read the book, you don't want to kill the story for them. So watch out for that. Finally, in terms of content, there should be a conclusion. So the conclusion is basically answering three questions: what you think of the book or the film. This has to do with basically describing, like what sensation it causes in you, why it's your favorite, and why you recommend it. Okay? Okay. In terms of uh, presenting, we're gonna have a checklist. Some of these criteria are similar to the ones that you had already used for the YouTube video, so you know how it works. Okay, you have to have an introductory statement when you're presenting. Use transitions. Show eye contact. Remember to look at the audience, especially those of you who had the feedback that you need to work on eye contact. The same goes with body language. Vocal expression, those of you who had feedback about your tone, about varying the voice, about the speed, you know, keep that in mind. Timing has to be between 3 and 4 minutes, not more and not less. Presentation should be well organized. We're going to see how creative you are, but more than that, if it's effective. If it's a clear presentation, and it has to contain three important things. First, an agenda, a public agenda. Signposting, when I refer to signposting, is how you can state your agenda in the different parts of the presentation. So if the first point of your agenda is explaining the film, there's going to be a slide that says film information. Yes. If the second point of your agenda is characters, then there's going to be a slide that says characters. Signposting is helping the audience understand the order of your presentation. And finally, there has to be a diagram because we will be working on creating diagrams. So you can use a diagram of the story. You can use the diagram to explain the characters. There are many ways to use a diagram, and we will see that in the following classes. And finally, all of these add up to 100 from the content and the presentation and language points. And then I will take minus zero point 0.5 per mistake of grammar, of pronunciation, or vocabulary. So my recommendation to you is as you prepare, look up vocabulary, important vocabulary in the dictionary, look up the pronunciation. You can Google pronunciation of words and hear the pronunciation so you can pronounce correctly, and watch out for grammar, especially because in this case, when you describe a film or a book, you tend to use past tense. So be careful with pronunciation of verbs in past and be careful with the grammar form in past. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate in letting me know. Okay? Have a good weekend.